Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble! That's right, my name's John. This is In Air Outdoors, and it's camper time. Na, 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 na. It's camper time. Anyway, enough of that. So some of you have seen my channel before, some of you haven't and discovered this some other ways. I have been in the planning stage, preparation stage for some time to get a platform camper installed on my truck. Today is the day that's going to happen. I'm actually on the way there right now. I got about a 2-hour drive. Let me really quick just recap how I got here. So many years ago, 4 years ago or so, I don't know, maybe a little bit longer than that. The concept of these platform campers has actually been on the periphery for some time. And I finally got to see a couple in person. I went on a fishing trip and one person had a Go Fast camper, one person had an Alucab, and seeing them in person just absolutely resonated with me. It was just exactly what I want. And the problem at the time was I wasn't satisfied with the vehicles on the market. And I didn't pursue anything then. But in the past 2 years, new Tacoma, new Colorado Canyon, new Ranger. And that's really what I was waiting for. So I decided on a Ranger. I feel it has a better capacity than the competitors. I like the engines a little better than the competitors. I really like my 2.7 V6. I'm really hopeful that that extra little bit of oomph from the engine will help overcome the challenges of having a big box on the back all the time in terms of miles per gallon. I mean, I'll never know because it's not like I'm going to switch this thing over to a 2.3 liter and drive it for 6 months and find out. But that's my theory. I felt that if I'm going to be hauling something around, I should get something that's made for hauling. So the 2.7 was where it's at. And I really like it. It's been a really nice engine. The truck has been just fantastic in general. Yeah. Now, when I was first looking, there was a company that I probably would have gone with had I had my vehicle at the time, a company called Snap Outfitters. And Snap is out of Pennsylvania. So pseudo-local East Coast is an issue for this type of stuff. We kind of are in an overland desert. And this isn't really for overlanding. Like, that's not my intent. There will be some light overlanding, I guess. It's just for ease of camping. But the Snap guys, I thought they made a pretty cool looking product. It'd be a great product for a full size. And when I first looked at them, they were reasonably priced. And now they have gone up almost double in price. So Snap was out of the question. And in that time since then, I mean, basically then it was Snap, Overland, and Topo Toppers. Those are your three options. Maybe a couple other little ones in the periphery. But since that time, just absolute plethora of other manufacturers has popped out of the woods. So, I've got a whole nother video on that. Some of you are probably watching this in response to that video. But yeah, so there's just been a large number of other manufacturers kind of leading up to this day and this concept. So obviously the concept has some merit. And for me, on the East Coast, it came down to a couple things. So you guys on the West Coast, you actually have far more options. Midwest, far more options than I do. For me, I can't take like 2 weeks off to go get a camper installed. I just don't have that type of paid time off availability, and I don't want to drive my truck across the country. So I had to find somebody that could deliver locally, deliver reasonably locally, or manufacture locally. And so that actually kind of knocked out a bunch of people. Like Harker, it's a pretty cool product. I like it. It's really neat looking. It's out. Tune, it's out for other reasons. It's actually too big for me. Tunes out, it's too far away. Same with pack out. The remainder big couple was Go Fast Camper, Topo Toppers, and Lone Peak Overland. And I have issues with all three of those manufacturers for different reasons. I really like the Topo design. I really like their new Rincon, but they don't ship it. But I don't like the Topo lack of easy accessory mounting. Lone Peak, I like their modularity. I like that you can do a bare bones to big install. I really don't like the overhang for that, especially on a 5-foot bed. I think if you have a full-size truck, it's a reasonable option. Or a 6-foot bed, it's a reasonable option. With a 5-foot bed, you have as much over the cab as you have behind you. I don't like that. Engineering, I'm sure it's going to be fine, but over time, I don't know. It just doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy. The other thing about Lone Peak that I'm kind of questioning is they're very new. I'm not confident they have worked out all the bugs. I do hear good things about them supporting their customers, but they haven't. I don't think they quite are fully out of that like late beta stage. And then Go Fast. They've got, basic design. It's very simple. I wish they had actually a little bit of extension for the bed so you could leave a gap in it, or maybe have like a nightstand mode where the top is open or top is a special material. But they're a mature design. They constantly update it still with a mature design. They've been out for a while. Structurally, they make a little bit more sense to me than the other ones, and they're light. So yeah, I elected to go with the Go Fast. We have a reasonably local installer. They're about 2 hours from my house, so that's good. And one other thing about the Lone Peak that kind of irked me is Go Fast and Topo Toppers. It's like $1,200 to $1,500 for shipping to the East Coast. The Lone Peak is $2,500, and I don't understand why they're $1,000 more than the others. That just cuts into the price. Like that takes away from some of the niceties of the Lone Peak. And the other thing about the Lone Peak is like they want $800 to put in interior lights. That's ridiculous. My Go Fast is going to have interior lights. So yeah, that's where we're at. So I'm on the way to get the camper installed. I'm going to see what I can do in terms of videos while we're there. Other things coming up for the channel once the camper is installed and we get a chance, I am going to do a christening. And I'm a giant nerd, so I'm supporting my local miscreant crew right here, the Ritos. We're gonna do a christening for the camper. I'm gonna introduce the name for it. It's funny to me. I like it. It means something. But you're gonna think I'm a giant nerd, and you're not wrong. So yeah, on the road again.
All right, here's the exit, Reidsville, North Carolina. One of these is mine. We'll see which one.
Camper is successfully installed. I want to get headed home first. Let's get some fuel and see what's next. All right, got her home, got her set up in the driveway. This is what they call the cabana mode with all the sides opened up. And this is the V2 Pro, the latest and greatest. It has the extra vents at the top and then some additional ways of venting the interior windows at the front. I did elect to get the side doors as well as front and rear windows. Interior wise, it has the lighting kit as well as the bedding catches on the square panels. Now, for those of you not familiar with the Go Fast, they use what's called the Transforma floor, where you can move sections out of the way to get up into the sleeping area. You can move them around for different purposes. Now, again, this does have the extra venting, and I did elect for the side doors. And then this is the setup I'm going to use to edit this video, the standing desk mode.
No roar!